Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I do a new foundation first impression every single Friday on my channel. This is actually the last Foundation Friday before the big 15 Days of Foundation series, which is coming up, and I'm announcing the dates right now in this video. For those of you who are newer Bayritos, 15 Days of Foundation is a series I do on my channel every few months. It's basically what it sounds like. I test out a new foundation every single day for 15 days, so you get 15 videos in a row. In the past, I've worked with a nonprofit called Project Beauty Share for this series. I'm going to leave the announcement videos for the other 15 Days of Foundation down below so you can learn all about them and what they do. They do awesome work. All of the proceeds from t-shirts and eBay sales and different things that we did went to them. This time around, this series is actually just going to be the foundation videos. There's not going to be any kind of merch or sales because Project Beauty Share and I are working on something huge for the next one. We started talking about it and figuring things out a couple months ago, and it's going to literally take the next 6 months for us to plan this thing. So that's what we are working on. That's why there's no involvement with Project Beauty Share for this series. Next one will be worth it. I think you guys will really like it. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging without another series for 6 months, so that's why we're doing it now. Here we go. Here are the dates. The next 15 Days of Foundation series on my channel is September 1st to the 15th. Getting 15 days in a row of videos prepared while still putting up 3 videos a week in the meantime is a ton of prep and work. On my time, I've been trying to get the 3 videos a week pre-recorded, and I'm actually going to start filming for 15 Days of Foundation like tomorrow. I've taken a bunch of your foundation requests from Twitter, from the comment section, from Snapchat, so make sure you're following me on all of my social media. I'll pop them in right here. So after the 15 days of foundation, I always do a wrap-up video, which is basically where I go through and rank the foundations after trying them out again. So series ends on the 15th. I'm actually going out of the country a day after that. So I'm going to be bringing the foundations with me, continue to test them out. Again, since they're pre-recorded, I do have more than a week to try out the foundations, but I'm about 90% sure that the wrap-up video for this series where I rank them all will be going up on Monday, September 25th. That could change. I'll update you guys throughout the series if it does. I'm excited. I know in the past you guys have really enjoyed this series, so I hope you're excited. I hope you're looking forward to it. If you are, make sure you share on social with the hashtag 15 Days of Foundation. I screenshot your tweets, your snaps, your Instagram posts with the hashtag 15 Days of Foundation and include them at the end of the videos. So if you want to be featured in a video, make sure you share on social. Full on sweating. I feel like I'm in a sauna right now. I think that was all the 15 Days of Foundation things I had to tell you guys. Let's jump into this week's Foundation Friday. So today is a little bit different because I'm actually talking about a powder foundation today. So I was in one of those powder foundation YouTube, Google searches where I was just trying to find the best powder foundations. You guys know I love the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination. It's definitely my favorite powder foundation. I love it for setting my liquid foundation, but I'm still on the hunt for a good powder foundation when I don't want to put on a full-on liquid. This powder foundation by Clinique, this is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Powder Foundation and Concealer 2-in-1, had really great reviews. It's supposed to be really good coverage. So I picked it up on Ulta. This product retails for $28 and you get 0.51 ounces of product. To give you some comparison, in the It Cosmetics one, which has eyelash glue on it, classy, you get 0.3 ounces of product, so quite a bit less than this one. And in the Maybelline Better Skin Powder, you get 0.32. So it seems like this does have quite a bit of product, which is great. I say this in every dang Clinique video. They need to sort out their shit with the shades. I have a full review and a bunch of videos using the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. This is basically the liquid version of this product. Not only does the shade range suck, I do have to mix the lightest shade, which is 0.5 Breeze. Besides that, their shades are always out of order online. It's super bizarre. It's hard to actually figure out the lightest shade sometimes. And the same thing goes with this powder. I don't know why they make it 20 times more difficult than it has to be. This is the shade 0.25 Dune. And when I saw that this was a 0.25, I got super excited because the lightest shade in this foundation is 0.5. This shade Dune says very fair with cool neutral undertones. I believe this is a new shade because I don't see it listed on Clinique's website even. I don't know if this shade is like exclusive to Ulta. So on Ulta's website, this comes in 13 shades with the lightest shade being Dune. But if you go on Clinique's website, they have 16 shades listed, but they're totally different. They don't have the shade Dune listed at all, and then there's this no-named white shade right here. I would say just stick to the numbers probably. It's probably the easiest way to go about it. So as far as I know, I think 0.25 Dune is the lightest shade and it's on Ulta. So there's only a couple claims on here. It says it's a powder foundation and concealer in one for a natural, beyond perfected look that lasts all day. even through sweat and humidity, which I will definitely be testing out today. Weightless powder makeup that covers thoroughly without clogging pores. Skin breathes comfortably, color stays true, oil-free. So that's all of the claims. Packaging is basically just click top powder compact, nothing super exciting. I usually do foundation swatches with liquid. Since this is a powder, I'm not going to do that, but I will show you Shade by Shade. It looks like next to the It Cosmetics powder, which is this one, if that does anything for you. If you want to see what I think of the Clinique Beyond Perfecting powder foundation and how it applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. All right, so I heard you guys. I moved the camera closer. We are now more zoomed in, so hopefully you can see my face a little bit better. It's 9:15 right now in the morning. So I've already washed, moisturized, and primed my face. I use my Hylamide Matte 12 primer just on my T-zone. So because this is a powder foundation, I'm going to test this out as I would if I was wearing a powder foundation personally, which for me that would be spot concealing underneath the powder. Anytime I use the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination just as a powder foundation, I definitely spot conceal underneath because I have a lot of acne to cover up. I also have plans tonight, so I need to like actually do my makeup. So to spot conceal, I'm going to use my Maybelline Insta Age Rewind Concealer, but this is what I use when I don't wear foundation. If I just want to go out really quick, if I'm like running errands, like look at that, it just blends into the skin. I feel like by spot concealing, this is giving the powder the best shot. I'm just putting this on any active acne. I'm not trying to cover up my redness or anything because I do want to see how the powder covers that. This is just for my acne. You can still see my acne coming through. This isn't like full coverage. So with powder foundation, you typically do want to do any liquid products first. Anytime you apply a liquid after a powder, shit can just get pretty funky. So if I'm going in with a powder foundation, it's definitely going to be the last step. So I'm gonna do my under eye concealer. I'm just gonna focus this right underneath my eyes. I'm gonna try not to bring it down super far or anything. This is BH Studio Pro Concealer I've raved about. I usually blend it out with my Morphe G38, but this desperately needs to be washed, and it's been making my concealer pretty streaky, so I'm just gonna use my finger today. Also gonna set my under eyes like I always would using my Physicians Formula powders. I have a sunburn that's peeling on my back. So itchy. Okay, now we get to go in with this guy. I'm so excited. There's a little sponge and there's two different sides. Whoa, this is a cool texture. So one of the sides feels like a normal foam sponge and the other one feels like velvet, literally. It says use the sponge side for moderate coverage or the smooth velvety side for buildable, fuller coverage. I'm definitely trying to get the most coverage out of life. So I'm gonna go in with this side. I'm gonna try this on part of my face. Typically I don't like using sponges that come in with powders, but let's give it a go. Try a brush on the other side. This is my go-to powder brush. It's the Furless CB4 brush. This is awesome. It's super dense and it's just great for getting good coverage out of powders. I'm gonna start out with one swipe. That's how much powder. Maybe I'll do a second one. I'm gonna do a second swipe. Okay. I'm gonna try and like pat and swipe maybe. Typically I don't get good coverage swiping because I feel like it just kind of wipes the product off. Ooh, I'm not liking this applicator. Yeah. I'm gonna switch. Try the bottom of this sponge. This is my Morphe sponge. I use this for powder to set my face. I also use this for liquid foundation. I don't really like that either with it. Doesn't seem to really be applying well with that either. Let's try this brush. I know with some powder foundations, you really have to like buff them into your skin and it almost gets better coverage as you buff, but I'm kind of worried it's gonna like blend off some of the concealer. The shade looks pretty spot on if you look at my neck. Since I don't have pretty much any concealer on my forehead, I'm gonna try and really buff there and see if it works. This brush is definitely a little bit flimsier. This is the Morphe E1 brush. So I'm gonna try this for my forehead and buff it in there. That just definitely toned down my redness, evened it out a little bit. It doesn't look totally full coverage on my forehead. You guys will see really up close and natural lighting in a minute. It's emphasizing my texture a bit. Not really liking how it's sitting on my skin. Has this already oxidized? I feel like this just oxidized. This is supposed to be buildable and I'm not getting that great of coverage down here, so I kind of still want to work on this side. Maybe I'll try this Morphe brush down here. Now that the concealer is kind of set, maybe I'll blend. I feel like I've used a pretty decent amount of powder at this point, and I think I'm getting medium coverage. Keep in mind I have concealer underneath this, and even with concealer underneath, it still doesn't look like full coverage. I'm trying to think if there's a different way I should be applying this. Okay, I'm gonna try using the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. This is like a smaller brush, but it is pretty flimsy, so this might give good coverage, but still blend. I'm gonna first dab it on to see how it covers. Work in circular motions. Okay, that brush I feel like applied it the best and also looks the most natural. It looks a lot less kind of cakey on this side. I feel like it's emphasizing my pores a bit. I can even see them on the viewfinder right now. I don't like how it looks on my forehead at all, and I just tried to go in and smooth it out with this brush. It looks pretty heavy, and the center of my forehead looks really bad. Any place where I have kind of texture or pores, it just does not look great. When I go over it, it's almost like rubbing off and then making the powder cling weird in certain areas. Interesting. Ooh, that looks bad. I need to get close for this one. It's really hard for me to see what you guys are seeing right now on the viewfinder, but hopefully you can see this. It's looking super weird and funky right here. Took off all of the product and then there's like this line. Right now on my skin, I'm not liking this at all. It looks pretty heavy. I don't think it's the amount that I put on because this side of my face, I did the same amount as this side. I just used a different brush. This side definitely looks better than my forehead and this side of my face, but it still doesn't look good. Well, this one is gonna be fun to wear tonight. What you do for YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna need to do some like bomb ass eye makeup or something right now to compensate because my face looks like shit. This might be one of those powders that wears really well throughout the day and kind of like warms up to my skin, so we'll see. But off the bat, this is not something I would wear on its own. I will try setting my foundation with this and see how it goes because a lot of powder foundations I don't like on its own, but I like on top of liquid foundations to give it a little bit more coverage and set my makeup. But we're gonna call the check-in time 9:40 since that's when I clearly finished up my face makeup. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back and then I'll show you guys a shot in natural lighting. So right now it is 10:20. I'm gonna cut to the clip in natural lighting so you guys can see what I think of it and then I'll tell you what's everything. Then I'll tell you everything that's on my face. Okay, so here's what it's looking like in natural lighting. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Since I sprayed Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, I do feel like it looks a lot better. You can still majorly see my pores and bumps and everything right here. It looked a lot heavier before, I feel like. But here's the rest of my face. As you can see, acne is still definitely coming through and my pores right now look big, folks, big. Around my nose, it doesn't look that good. It's kind of like caked up around here. And I did feel like my powder products actually, it was kind of tricky to totally blend them. Like I feel like it looks pretty patchy and that was after me full on blending. I do like the shade. I think the shade is like a perfect match for me, hoping it doesn't oxidize more throughout the day. All right, so for eyes, I tried out the Pure Soiree, one of those words that you second guess yourself 50 times and you just completely forget how to say it. Diaries palette again. This is the second time I'm using this. I tried this out in a video. What video was that? Is that the Shadow Schmooze? I haven't tried the shimmer shades in here yet, but the matte shades are beautiful and you have like a nice range of colors to work with. Blush, I used the BH Floral Blush in Bahama Bronze, which is like this warm kind of peachy bronze shade. I tried this Pure Contour Diaries in the shade Secret again, and it's definitely not a contour shade on my skin tone, but it's a nice bronzer tone. And then for face highlight and on my inner corner of my eyes, I used the Cargo HD Picture Perfect highlighter in bronze. This came in the FabFitFun box and this thing is gorgeous. Lips, I used Stila Stale Day Liquid Lipstick in Caramello and I topped it off with a little bit of this Bite Beauty. This is in the shade Blanc. It's just a white lipstick. This is awesome for lightening any lipstick. Dress, necklaces, always linked down below. So the check-in time is 9:40. I'm actually going to be out, I think, the rest of the day. So the check-in you guys will see will be probably on the go. So I'll see you guys in a few hours. All right, so it's now 2:25 according to the oven. My phone is charging. I'm about to head out. I actually didn't leave the house yet. So it's been on for about 5 hours right now. I feel like it actually looks a bit more flattering in this lighting right now, but when I've looked in the mirror every time, I'm definitely quite dewy. I don't mind this much dew. It's starting to look a little bit oily on my forehead and around my nose area. I'll zoom you guys in. Here's what it looks like. I'm getting a little bit of creasing on my upper lip, which is kind of odd for a powder. Still don't like how it's like caking up around here, especially on this side. Forehead I actually think looks better than before. Like it's kind of warmed up and gotten a little bit dewier as my oil has come through. But right now, same thoughts as before. I'll check back in with you guys at the end of the night. It's now 8 o'clock, so ooh, I just got pins and needles in my foot. So it's been on for a little over 10 hours. I just got back home. I noticed I looked pretty oily. It's actually not looking super oily in this lighting for some reason, but I'm definitely pretty shiny right now. It hasn't worn badly. I definitely think it looks better than when I first put it on, which is good because I think as my oils have come through, it just kind of looks less cakey. But with that being said, it's oxidized at least a shade. It's too dark for my neck now, and I just don't love the way that it looks at all. My thoughts pretty much haven't changed on this. But just so you can see, after 10 hours, here's what it looks like. It's breaking down a tiny bit on the center of my forehead, but it also kind of just looked like that earlier, I feel like. Not feeling this one. I am gonna try it on top of a liquid foundation before this video goes live, and I'll update you guys in the description box what it looks like and what I think of it on top of liquid foundation. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any powder foundations that you recommend, let me know what they are down below. I'll definitely try some out. If you guys enjoyed this video and are excited for 15 days of foundation, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.